Fraction equations is what we're moving to. This is all part of 7.3, so write that down. 7.3. This is actually our second part of 7.3b. The first part is solving decimal equations, utilizing that trick. This is solving fraction equations. We're going to do a trick with fraction equations too. You're going to get rid, you hate fractions, get rid of it. You're going to get rid of the fraction. How? Nope. By multiplying by the denominator. And sometimes you have to multiply through by 2. Sometimes it's denominators. Okay, I'm just going to say denominator right now. So, what you need to think about this. 3 over 5, 3/5. A fraction is really a division problem, right? It's saying 3 divided by 5. What's the opposite of divide? Times. That's why. That's the why I can do this. Let's apply it. 1/2 x equals 3. What is my denominator? 2. 2. So what should I multiply by? 2. All right. Algebra says multiply everything by 2. Now notice what happens. It cancels out. This does not turn to 2x because the 2 gets canceled by the denom. So I'm left with 1x equals 6. Done. Okay, that's it.
Oh, really? I got that.
Nice. Tyler.
Can't you just change 1/2 to 0.5?
Sure. And then times 2 by 10? Sure. Absolutely. Okay, what's the denominator on this next one?
3.
3. So what should I multiply through by?
3.
Then I need to multiply everything by 3. Everything by 3. 3 times 2 is 6x. Now the 3 cancels out here. What am I left with on this fraction? 2, not 6, because the 3 cancel. So it's plus 2 equals 12. Minus 2, 6x equals 10. X equals 10 divided by 6. 6 goes into 10 one time. 4 remains. 6 on the denom. 1 2/3.
Can you put it as a decimal too?
Sure, I don't care. Absolutely. Okay, next one. What am I going to multiply through? Here, think, pair, share. What am I going to multiply through on this next one? Okay, so the next one we have 5 is the denominator. 5 is what makes this thing look disgusting, right? Let's get rid of it. Get rid of the 5. This cancels out. I'm left with 1x, which is just x. The 5's cancel out on that next fraction. I'm left with the 4, so plus 4. 20 times 5, 5 times 2 is 10. Add the 1, 0. Subtract by 4. X equals 96. The next one, I have 2 fractions, 2 denominators. What I would do with this one is pick the bigger one and multiply through by the bigger one. So which one's the bigger one? 8. So I'm going to multiply everything through by 8. Notice now Tyler said, hey, you can cross. That's exactly right. This would turn to 1 and the 8 would turn to 2. It's cross simplifying. 2 times 3 is 6x minus, what happens to these 8s? They cancel.
Yeah.
So what am I left with?
6x minus 1.
Minus 1. Yep. 6x minus 1 equals 32.
Wait, can you still do it without crossing? How would you?
I'll show you in a second. Plus 1. 6x equals 33. Divide by 6. X is equal to 33 over 6. 6 goes into 33 5 times. 3 left over. 6 as the denom, which is 5 and 1 half. Okay, so question was, do I have to cross simplify? Sometimes you forget, don't you? Sometimes you just totally forget about cross simplifying. You can still do it the same way. I would just times through by 4. The 4 is really, what you're really doing is timesing through by 4 over 1. So that 4 is aligned with the top number. Okay, the 4 is aligned with the top. So this cancels out. What am I left with? 3x minus 4a equals 16. Because this 4 is on top. Now get rid of my 8 by timesing everything through. 8 times 3 is 24x minus the 8's cancel. Let's see, 80 plus 48 is 128. Add 4. See, the numbers are just bigger. Do you see that? Divide by 24. And you get 5.5. And that's what we got in the other one. So same answer, just bigger numbers that I'm dealing with. Okay? So it will be fine. It's just bigger numbers. Alright?
Is the bottom one the same number as it was the last time?
Yep. Because we did have 33 6. And we said 6 goes into 33 5 times. 3 remains, 6 as the denom, which is 5 and 1 half. Yep, great.
Could you write it as a decimal?
Yep. Because then you can use your calculator to help you. Yep. The biggest thing that I care about today is that you apply the trick of multiplying through by the denominator. Okay, next. Parentheses. Parentheses, just like yesterday. You only multiply by what is, be dramatic, outside the parentheses. What I like to tell my students, the parentheses are like a shield. It's like a little cozy room for everything. It's like, you can't touch me. I'm all safe and sound inside here. So what I multiply through by, it gets blocked off by the shield. And I can't actually multiply through. So the parentheses is like a little blanket protecting numbers inside it. Don't multiply through by it. So 2/3 times x minus 4. What should I multiply through by? 3. Should I multiply the x and the 4 by 3?
No.
Nope, they're being protected, right? It's like a mama hugging the kids. Nope, you're not touching it. Timesing the opposite side by 3 because the 6 is not being protected. So now what am I left with on the top?
2.
2 times x minus 4 equals 18. Distribute. We've done this. When you distribute, you multiply. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 4 is 8, so 2x minus 8 equals 18. Plus 8. 2x equals 36. And I just happen to know by heart that 18, half of 36 is 18. You can use your calc for assistance on that. Darn it. You're right.
Yeah. That's what I got.
I was like, what did you say?
You're like, what is she even talking about? 18 plus 8 is 26, so x is 13. Okay. Next one. 4 equals 1/4 times x plus 2. So what am I going to multiply through by?
4.
4. Am I multiplying x and 2 by 4?
No.
Why?
Because
There's a shield.
They're shielded, they're protected, yep. So 4 and 4 is 16. This cancels out, and I'm just left with the 1, right? Times x plus 2. Well, 1 times anything is just that number itself. So it really just turns into 16 equals x plus 2. Yep, Tatiana?
Can you switch there if you wanted to?
Yes, I always do. Right now, I feel really anxious because I'm not, but I'm just trying to get over it. 14 is equal to x. I love my variable on the left-hand side. It's very hard for me to keep it like that. X is 14.
You do have to write it like that, though.
No, you can do whatever as long as you get the right answer. I want you to try the next one, not this one, not this last one, just the next one. Just try it out. All right, moving forward. 4/5 times x minus 5 equals 2. It looks ugly. What makes it look ugly is the fraction. So I need to try to get rid of it. I want to try to make it look semi-decent. So what do I need to multiply through by? 5. Do I multiply inside the parentheses by 5?
No.
It's a shield. It's protected. Nope. So that cancels out. What am I left with? 4. So it's 4 times x minus 5 equals 10. Distribute. 4x minus 20 equals 10. Plus 20. 4x equals 30. Divide by 4. And 7.5 is the final answer. This one's a little more abstract. So I just always think multiply everything unless it's protected. So what do I need to multiply through by?
3.
3. So I'm going to multiply this fraction by 3 inside parentheses.
No.
Nope, protected. 24 by 3. Do I multiply the 8 by 3?
Yes.
Yes, because it's not protected. Anything that is not protected, we multiply. That would turn into 24 plus the 3's cancel. I'm left with just the 2. And 24 times 3 would be 60 plus 12 is 72. Distribute. 24 plus 2x minus 2 equals 72. Now kids get confused a lot with this part.
You know which one.
Okay, so the question of the day, what do I do now with all this? You could either go 24 minus 2 right away or just start moving things over. It's okay. So maybe, hey, add 2 first. Little bit at a time. Chip it away, a little bit at a time. And let the 24 still comes down. The 2x still comes down. That canceled. Now I have 74. That's me moving this. This got ugly here. That's me moving that minus 2 because I feel confused. So when I feel confused, I say to myself, is there something I can move over? And in that way, it kind of helps me. So I'm just going to move one thing over quick.
So can you always do subtraction for that? Like instead of doing the 24.
Yeah, order doesn't matter. Like how you move it
Just do
doesn't
whatever
matter.
you want.
As long as you move. What matters is how you're going to move it. You always got to move